One bright day, the doorbell at Miffy's house rang. Grandpa and Grandma Bunny had come to visit. "Hello, Miffy," said Grandma Bunny. "We thought we would come and visit you in your house, but as it is such a lovely warm day, we thought we could take you to the beach instead." "Oh, how wonderful!" shouted Miffy. "I would love to show you the beach." "What a nice idea," said Mother Bunny. "I will pack you a nice lunch so you can have a picnic. And you can tell Miffy what the beach was like when you were young." Father Bunny said, "I will drive you to the beach in our car." So off they went in Father Bunny's car. When they arrived, Grandpa Bunny said, "When we were young, we used to make castles in the sand. Perhaps we can make some more today." "Yes," said Father Bunny. "I remember making sand castles too. We can all make some together." "I did it too," said Grandma Bunny. "I remember that the sand had to be wet." So Miffy picked up her bucket and went down close to the water. She filled the bucket with wet sand and brought it up to where the others were sitting. Miffy had to do it many times because it took a lot of sand to make a proper castle. How beautiful it was! And just as the castle was finished, along came Melanie, Miffy's bunny friend. "Would you like to play ball with me, Miffy?" asked Melanie. "Oh, yes," said Miffy. "Don't go too far," said Father Bunny. "You might get lost." "We won't get lost, Father," said Miffy, "because we know that you will be where the sand castle is." So Miffy and Melanie ran off, kicking the ball along the beach. Soon, they were quite far away. Meanwhile, the water was slowly rising up the beach. "Oh dear," said Grandma Bunny. "The water is coming very close to our sand castle. We'd better move back a bit." And sure enough, the water soon came up and washed away the whole castle. Miffy and Melanie were tired, and they started to go back. "Where is your family, Miffy?" asked Melanie. "I can't see them." "Don't worry, Melanie," said Miffy. "They are right by our sandcastle." But Miffy looked and looked, and she didn't see the sandcastle. She didn't know that the seawater had washed it away. She and Melanie walked and walked along the beach. "Where is that castle?" said Miffy. "Maybe we really are lost, Melanie." "Miffy, Melanie, we're here." "The sea came up and washed our castle away." "It's nice that our houses are not made of sand," said Miffy. They were all very happy to be together again. One day, Poppy Pig invited Miffy to her house for tea and biscuits. Miffy asked her mother if she could go. "Yes, of course you can go, Miffy," said Mother Bunny. "Be careful riding your scooter. It's cold outside and it might be slippery if it starts to snow." "I'll be careful, Mother," said Miffy. "And I'll be sure to bring some of Poppy's biscuits back for you." Miffy rode her scooter towards Poppy's house. She soon reached Poppy's house with no problem. Poppy had baked some delicious biscuits and made some tea. Miffy and Poppy had a lovely time together. Miffy forgot all about the time. Suddenly, the telephone rang. "Hello, it's your mother, Miffy," said Poppy. "She says you should start to head home because it looks like it will snow." "Oh dear," said Miffy. "I've had such a good time with you, Poppy, but I really must leave." Miffy put on her coat and her scarf. She was ready to say goodbye to Poppy when she remembered her promise to her mother. "Can I take some biscuits home to my mother, please?" she asked Poppy. "Of course." Poppy put some of the biscuits into a little bag and placed it in the basket on Miffy's scooter. "Do be careful riding home on your scooter, Miffy." When Miffy began to ride home, it started to snow. She scooted along as carefully as she could. In a short while, there was so much snow that it became quite slippery. And when she tried to ride down a little hill, boom! Miffy wasn't hurt, but she decided to walk with her scooter the rest of the way home. At home, Mother Bunny was beginning to worry. "I hope nothing has happened to Miffy," she thought. Then she saw Miffy. What a relief! She quickly opened the door. "Hello, Miffy," said her mother. "I'm glad to see that you walked home with your scooter." "I started to ride," said Miffy. "Then I skidded and fell off my scooter, so I decided to walk the rest of the way. I wasn't hurt at all. I've brought you some of Poppy's delicious biscuits." Miffy looked inside the bag. Where were the biscuits? "Oh dear," said Miffy. "When I fell down, all of the biscuits got broken. Now there's nothing in the bag but crumbs." Just then, Father Bunny came home. "Hello, everyone," he said. "There is lovely snow everywhere. It's a perfect time for a sledge ride." "Oh no," said Mother Bunny. "That's way too cold for me. I prefer my warm oven. I will bake a fresh batch of your favourite biscuits." They all laughed. Then, while Mother Bunny was busy in the kitchen, Miffy enjoyed a ride on her sledge. It was autumn. Leaves were falling and clouds were gathering. Miffy was playing outside with her ball, when suddenly it started to rain heavily. Before her dress got wet, she ran into her house. "If you want to play outside, Miffy, you must wear your coat," her mother said. Miffy put on her coat. Just when she was going outside again, Barbara Bear knocked at the door. "It has stopped raining, Mrs. Bunny. Can Miffy come to the woods with me, please? We can look for beautiful autumn leaves to make decorations." "That sounds like a lovely thing to do, Barbara. But it might rain again, so be sure that Miffy wears her coat." It was good fun looking for pretty leaves with Barbara. They found some yellow leaves, some red leaves, and some brown leaves. "These will make beautiful decorations," said Barbara. "Look, the sun has come out again, and it's getting warm. We can hang up our coats on this tree branch while we go to look for more leaves." Soon their baskets were full of pretty leaves. "Are you thirsty from all that work, Miffy?" asked Barbara. "Let's go to my house. I have some cool lemonade we can drink." They went inside Barbara's wooden house. Just as they were drinking their lemonade, Miffy looked out of the window and saw that it was raining again, very heavily. "Oh dear! Our coats," said Barbara. "They're still outside, hanging on that tree branch. They will be completely soaked." "We will be completely soaked if we go out to get them," said Miffy. "Don't worry, Miffy," said Barbara. "I have an umbrella that is big enough to cover both of us." Under Barbara's umbrella, they ran to the tree where their coats were hanging. They were dripping wet. "I can't put on my coat," said Miffy. "How will I get home? My mother will be angry if my dress gets wet too." "I will walk home with you, Miffy," said Barbara. "My umbrella will keep us dry." The two friends were still nice and dry when they reached Miffy's house. Miffy wondered what her mother would say when she saw that Miffy had come home without her coat. When Mother Bunny saw them under the umbrella, she was pleased that Miffy had not got wet in the rain. "Miffy, where is your coat?" "I'm sorry, my coat is soaking wet," said Miffy, "and I left it hanging on a tree branch." "That's all right, Miffy," said Mother Bunny. "You can go and fetch your coat when it stops raining." "Thank you, Barbara, for keeping Miffy dry with your umbrella. Come in and have some tea." After tea, it was still raining. Miffy and Barbara looked at all the pretty leaves they had collected. "What shall we make with all of our leaves?" asked Miffy. "As it's still raining," said Barbara, "how about a rain hat?" "Yes," said Miffy. "And as I don't have my coat, I will make a rain cape." Soon Barbara had a fabulous rain hat, and Miffy had a colourful cape. They ran outside and were surprised to find that it had finally stopped raining. "Come on, Miffy, now that the sun is shining, let's go and collect our coats." "OK," said Miffy. "And this time we shall bring the umbrella, the new hat and the new cape, just in case it starts to rain again." Miffy loved colours. She looked out of her window to see which colours she could spot. She saw that the sky was blue and that the grass was green. She saw red flowers and yellow flowers in her garden. She looked at her hands. "I am white," she said, "and I'm wearing a blue dress." "Isn't it good that we have so many different colours?" she thought. Just then the doorbell rang. It was Melanie. "Hello, Melanie," said Miffy. "Hello, Miffy," said Melanie. "I'm going to the playground. Do you want to come with me?" "Oh, yes," said Miffy. And the two little bunnies went off together. On the way to the playground, they walked past Poppy Pig's house. Poppy Pig's house was red. With a green roof, there were some bright yellow flowers growing in the window box. There was Poppy, just coming from her garden. She had a wheelbarrow full of fresh orange carrots. "Hello, Poppy," said Miffy. "Hello, Miffy. Hello, Melanie," said Poppy. "What a colourful house you have, Poppy," said Melanie. "Thank you," said Poppy Pig. "Isn't it cheerful?" "Yes, it's lovely," said Miffy. Miffy and Melanie waved at Poppy and walked on. When they arrived at the playground, Miffy and Melanie played on the yellow swing. They slid down the blue slide. They went round and round on the red merry-go-round. Miffy said to Melanie, "Look, there are so many different colours everywhere." "Oh, yes," said Melanie. fun. And you are white, and I am brown. We're different colours too. We're different colours, but we're really the same, said Miffy. Yes, agreed Melanie. We're just two bunny girls, one white and one brown. The two friends laughed when they thought of all the different colours. There are different colours everywhere we look, said Melanie. They saw a green bird and a blue one and brightly coloured butterflies. All around the playground, there were colourful flowers. But as they began to walk home, clouds began to gather. The blue sky turned grey. Oh dear, I'm afraid it's going to rain, said Miffy. We'd better hurry. But then a bit of sunlight appeared, and the two friends saw the most colourful sight of all. A rainbow! Shouted Miffy. They both thought, what a beautiful and colourful world it is. Boris and Barbara were thinking about Miffy's birthday. What can we make for her? Asked Barbara. Well, said Boris, spring will soon be here, and I know that Miffy enjoys seeing the baby birds every year. What if I make her a special birdhouse that she can watch each day? Oh, that's a splendid idea, Boris, said Barbara. It should be painted brightly to attract a mother bird. I will make it an exact copy of Miffy's own house, only very small, just the right size for little birds. I have a picture of Miffy's house to guide me. Boris selected some of his best wooden planks, some pieces that would make the walls, a strong piece of wood for the floor, and 2 sturdy pieces for the roof. First, he drew a plan that showed the right sizes of wood and how they would all be fitted and nailed together. Then Boris measured a piece of wood with his special ruler and used a pencil to mark where the plank should be cut. He clamped the wood to his workbench so it would be held steady. And then he took out one of his sharp saws. He moved the saw back and forth over the line he had drawn with the pencil. He did this for each piece of wood until every part of the birdhouse was cut to the right size. Next, he used a hammer to fasten all the pieces together. Finally, there was a perfect little house. I will use my drill to make a little hole in the house, just big enough for the mother bird to get in and out. She will collect twigs and grass to make a cosy nest inside. Now it's ready for you to paint it, Barbara, said Boris. Barbara Bear had lots of jars of bright paint and a brush for each colour. Soon the little birdhouse really did look like a tiny model of Miffy's own house, with one small difference. On Miffy's birthday, Boris and Barbara brought the birdhouse to Miffy's house and set it up on a pole in Miffy's garden. Happy birthday, Miffy, said Boris and Barbara. We have a surprise for you. Come and see. Miffy was delighted with her birdhouse. "It looks just like my house," said Miffy. "But there's something different. Instead of a door, it has only that little hole in the front." "That's a door for birds," said Boris. "It's not a bunny door." They all laughed. "Oh, how wonderful to have such clever friends," said Miffy. "You have made me happy, and your present will also make a mother bird very happy. Now we all have something to be happy about." Holiday time had arrived. When the school term was over, Miffy and her mother and Father Bunny were ready to go on their holiday. Miffy looked at a map so that she could see where they were going. One year they went to the seashore. This year they would go to the mountains. Mother Bunny said, "We must pack our warm clothes." "Why is that, Mother?" asked Miffy. "It's summertime." "You will see, Miffy. Perhaps you will be surprised." Father Bunny made sure their car was safe for the long mountain trip. Off they went. Over beautiful hills, through the woods, and then up into the mountains. Miffy noticed that as they got higher, it became colder. When they stopped to look out at a wonderful view, they all put on their warm clothes. As they drove even higher, Miffy started to see patches of snow on the ground. "That's strange," said Miffy. "Snow in summertime? Now do you see, Miffy? The higher in the mountains you are, the colder it is. On some very high mountains, there is snow all year long," said Mother Bunny. When they arrived at the very top of the mountain, there was snow everywhere. "Can we play with the snow, like in wintertime?" asked Miffy. "Well, why don't we find out?" said Father Bunny. Miffy and her parents made a snowman. Then they had fun throwing snowballs. Soon it was time to go back down the mountain again. As they drove lower and lower, it began to get warmer again. Finally, they arrived at the shore of a beautiful lake. "Here is where we will spend our holiday," said Mother Bunny. "Look, Miffy, there's something waiting for you." "Another surprise!" shouted Miffy. "First the snow, and now the boat! What a wonderful holiday!" As her mother started to make preparations for their camping site, Miffy and her father went to the boat. They climbed into the boat and went off for a nice boat trip around the lake. When they returned, Miffy saw that Mother Bunny had made a campfire and a delicious picnic supper. "This really is a wonderful holiday." One morning, Miffy's mother was getting ready to make breakfast, but she had no carrots. She knew that Miffy loved carrots. I was at the market early this morning, but someone had already bought all the carrots they had. There were no carrots left. I know who has carrots in her garden. Poppy Pig. Poppy Pig has a lovely garden where she grows plenty of carrots. If you run down to Poppy Pig's house, I'm sure she'll give you some of her juicy carrots. But just at that moment, Poppy Pig was sitting down to breakfast. She was eating the very last carrot from her garden. Those carrots were so delicious, I just couldn't resist them. I should have planted lots more, said Poppy. She looked up and saw Miffy coming towards her. Good morning, Miffy. Hello, Poppy, said Miffy. I came because I would love to taste some of your wonderful carrots. Poppy felt awful that she had just eaten her very last carrot. Oh dear, she said. I don't have a single carrot left today. If I plant more carrot seeds now, they won't be ready to eat for weeks. Just then, Auntie Alice arrived, carrying 2 heavy baskets. Hello, Miffy. Hello, Poppy. I bought all the carrots in the market this morning because I'm going to do something very special with them. And you are both invited for a carrot dinner. You can bring some friends, she said, and off she went on her way home. Miffy and Poppy could hardly wait for the evening to come. Then Boris and Barbara Bear came walking by. Miffy and Poppy told them that Auntie Alice was preparing a carrot dinner for them. We don't like carrots very much, said Boris. Oh, but you must come, said Miffy. My Auntie Alice makes such good dinners from carrots. All that afternoon, Auntie Alice was busy in her kitchen. Early that evening, Boris Bear was just about to enjoy a large sandwich. Boris, cried Barbara, what are you doing? You know that we are invited to Auntie Alice's house for a carrot dinner tonight, and it's nearly time to leave. Yes, but I don't like carrots, said Boris. Neither do I, said Barbara. But perhaps if we're hungry enough, we will. Now leave that sandwich and let's go. As they approached Auntie Alice's house, they smelt something delicious. That smells wonderful, said Barbara. It can't be carrots, said Boris. Maybe she's cooking something else. When everybody was ready for dinner, Auntie Alice served them carrot soup, carrot bread, carrot pie, and carrot juice. Come on, try a bit, said Auntie Alice. Boris and Barbara Bear enjoyed every bit of Auntie Alice's dinner. Here's a carrot surprise for dessert, said Auntie Alice.
Hooray!
Shouted Boris. What a great carrot feast! On their way home, Boris said to Barbara, that was a delicious meal. Let's plant lots and lots of carrots in our garden. One morning, Miffy felt very excited. Grandma and Grandpa Bunny were coming to visit, and that always meant something exciting. Grandpa was carrying a large parcel. Mother and Father welcomed Miffy's grandparents. Hello, Grandma. Hello, Grandpa. I'm so happy to see you. We're happy to see you too, said Grandma Bunny. We've brought something we think you will like, Miffy, said Grandpa. It's something I made in my own workshop, especially for you. Oh, "What is it?" asked Miffy. "I can hardly wait to see it." Miffy carefully unwrapped the parcel. It was a perfect, brightly painted wooden scooter. "How wonderful!" said Miffy. "It even has a little basket on it. I can carry my teddy bear in the little basket. Thank you. This is a wonderful gift, Grandpa." Miffy wanted to try her scooter straight away. "Let's go to the playground, and you can ride your scooter, Miffy," said Father Bunny. "I'll come with you." Soon Miffy was scooting along with her little teddy bear in the basket. Father Bunny had to run fast to keep up with her. "I hope you are enjoying the ride, Teddy," said Miffy. The little bear seemed to be nodding. "Yes, I am, Miffy." Soon Miffy and her father came to the playground. Miffy's friend Melanie was playing there. "Hello, Melanie," said Miffy. "Hello. What a beautiful scooter, Miffy," said Melanie. "My grandpa made it for me in his workshop," said Miffy. "Would you like to try it?" "Oh, yes, Miffy, thank you," said Melanie. "First, you must ask my Teddy which way he wants to go. I think he would like to ride all around the playground." "OK," said Melanie. "I will ride him all around the playground and bring him safely back to you." Miffy watched as Melanie scooted away. She could hardly wait for her to return. She loved her new scooter. When Melanie returned, she said, "This is a wonderful scooter, Miffy. I will ask my daddy to make one for me too. Then we can go scooting together." "That will be great fun," said Miffy. Miffy felt very happy as she scooted home for tea. And Grandpa Bunny was very pleased that the scooter was such a great success. The next time that Miffy and her father were at the playground, Melanie arrived with a beautiful new scooter of her own. Her teddy bear had come along for a ride as well. Miffy and Melanie and their teddy bears had a wonderful afternoon. Miffy read that in some fairy tales, a fairy could give you 3 wishes. She wondered what she would wish for if a fairy granted her 3 wishes. "My first wish would be that my mother and father would love me forever," she said. But she already knew that her mother and father would love her forever. So she tried to think of another wish. She decided to go for a walk. She was sure that she could think better while she was walking. There was Snuffy, who was, as always, very happy to see Miffy. "Do you want to come along with me?" asked Miffy. While they were outside walking, Miffy and Snuffy met Aggie, who had her arm in a sling. "Hello, Aggie," said Miffy. "What happened to your arm?" "I fell down while I was roller skating," said Aggie, "and I hurt it." "I wish that your arm gets better soon," said Miffy. "Thank you, Miffy," said Aggie. That was Miffy's first wish. "If my wish is magic, Aggie's arm will be better tomorrow," she thought as she waved goodbye to her friend. As Miffy and Snuffy walked towards the forest, it began to rain. Miffy hadn't remembered to take an umbrella on her walk. "Oh dear," said Miffy. "I wish it would never rain and always be sunny." Miffy was surprised when it quickly stopped raining and the sun came out. "I've wasted my second wish," she said. "If there is only sunshine and no rain, the trees won't grow." Now she had only one wish left. "My last wish would be for something very nice," she said to Snuffy. Miffy thought and thought as she walked along, looking around and trying to think of something important to wish for. She walked through a field full of flowers. Miffy thought about her mother and wanted to pick some flowers to bring home to her. "But my mother likes yellow flowers best," she told Snuffy. "I see lots of red flowers and lots of blue flowers. Shall I use my last wish to find some yellow flowers?" Just around the bend, there was a whole field of lovely yellow flowers. "Now I can use my last wish for something else," said Miffy. "I will wish for an ice cream." Miffy picked a lovely bunch of flowers for her mother. "Having 3 wishes is a wonderful thing," said Miffy as they began walking home. When Miffy gave Mother Bunny the bunch of yellow flowers, she was very happy. "Oh, Miffy," she said, "these are lovely. They are my favourite yellow flowers." "I saved my last wish for a nice ice cream," said Miffy. "Do you know what I wish for? I wish that my little Miffy will always be just as sweet as she is now." And she gave Miffy a big squeezy bunny hug. Then Mother Bunny went into the kitchen and gave Snuffy a nice bowl of fresh water and Miffy an ice cream. Miffy was on her way to visit her Auntie Alice. Along the way, she walked through a meadow full of colourful flowers, with butterflies fluttering all around. But look! What did she see on the ground? A caterpillar was eating a leaf from one of the beautiful flowers. "Why are you eating that leaf, little caterpillar?" asked Miffy. "I will take you to my Auntie Alice's house, and she will give you something proper to eat." She carefully picked up the little caterpillar and carried it with her to Auntie Alice's house. Miffy found Auntie Alice busy in her garden. "What do you have there?" asked Auntie Alice. "It's a naughty caterpillar," said Miffy. "It was eating a leaf from a beautiful flower." Auntie Alice laughed. "Caterpillars must eat leaves, Miffy," said Auntie Alice. "It's what they need to make their great change." "What change is that?" asked Miffy. "You will see," said Auntie Alice. "It is something so magical, you will hardly believe it." Now Miffy was very excited. She wondered what the great change could be. Auntie Alice carefully placed the little caterpillar near some tasty leaves. "You can come each day to watch the caterpillar, Miffy, and feed it some more leaves," she said. "You will see something very surprising." Miffy was very curious. She loved surprises, and she could hardly wait for her next visit. Each time Miffy came to Auntie Alice's house, she fed the little caterpillar more leaves, but she didn't see any change at all. "You must be patient, Miffy," said her Auntie Alice. "The surprise will come." On her next visit, Miffy was very sad. "Oh dear, look! The caterpillar is all wrapped up in white thread." "That is called a cocoon," said Auntie Alice. "The caterpillar made it. It's asleep inside. Next week, you will see the great surprise." Miffy was so excited that the next week she brought her friend Aggie with her to see what in the world the great change would be. They watched, but nothing happened. The white cocoon just lay there, very still. Then, suddenly, it began to move. It shook, and it quivered, and then it split. The two bunny girls leaned closer. Their eyes were wide with wonder. Out of the cocoon, there came not a caterpillar, but something else. What was it? It crawled out. Then, what a surprise! Wings opened. It really had changed. "It's not a caterpillar anymore," shouted Miffy. "It's a butterfly." "You were right, Auntie Alice. Something magical did happen. A little hungry caterpillar has changed into a beautiful butterfly." The butterfly fluttered its new wings to say goodbye and flew away. It was a lovely summer day, and Miffy asked her mother and father if her friend Grunty could stay with her overnight. "Yes," said her mother, "and it's warm enough for you both to sleep in the tent in the back garden." "Oh, that will be fun," said Miffy happily. Father Bunny said he would take her to Poppy Pig's house to collect her little niece Grunty. Off they went in Father Bunny's car to Poppy Pig's house. "Hello, Poppy," said Father Bunny. "Miffy would like to invite Grunty to stay with her tonight. You can pack her things and I will drive her to our house." Soon they were driving back to Miffy's house, and the two young girls were very excited about sleeping in a tent. When they arrived at Miffy's house, her mother had already set up the tent. "It will be such fun, Grunty," said Miffy. "I hope you're not afraid of the dark." "I won't be scared if you are with me, Miffy," said Grunty. The two little girls snuggled inside their sleeping bags, inside the dark tent. "What is that sound?" whispered Grunty. "I'm scared." "It's only the crickets," whispered Miffy. "They always chirp at night. You mustn't be afraid of them." "What is that?" whispered Grunty, who was really afraid. "That's just an owl who always sits in the tree at night," whispered Miffy. "You mustn't be afraid of her." Grunty was afraid, and she said, "Why don't we move the tent to Poppy's house tomorrow? I'm used to the sounds in her garden." The two little friends snuggled closer to each other and finally fell asleep. When the morning came, they woke up, and Mother Bunny brought them breakfast. "Did you sleep well?" Mother Bunny asked them. "Grunty was afraid of the sounds in our garden, Mother. Can we move the tent to Poppy's house tonight?" That evening, Father Bunny packed up the tent and drove the two girls to Poppy Pig's house. "Can we put the tent in your garden tonight?" Father Bunny asked. "Grunty feels she would be more comfortable sleeping in your garden. Miffy is a very brave little bunny, so I don't think she will be afraid." "Of course," said Poppy. Later that night, the two friends were tucked into their tent in Poppy's garden. Grunty was at home and fell asleep right away, but not Miffy. She heard noises. "Oh dear," whispered Miffy, who was scared. "Now I'm afraid. What is that sound? Wake up, Grunty. There's a strange noise I've never heard before." Grunty began to laugh. "That's just my Aunt Poppy snoring. I hear that all the time." Now both girls started to laugh. They laughed and laughed until they both fell asleep. Every morning, Miffy looked out of her window and watched for the post bunny. She hoped that one day a letter or a postcard might come for her. Mother Bunny said, "Why don't you go and see if there's any post today, Miffy?" Miffy went to the front door to have a look, and there was some post. She picked it up and carried it to the kitchen table. "Well, here's this morning's newspaper," said Mother Bunny. "And here is a letter for me from your Auntie Alice. And look, Miffy, here is a pretty postcard addressed to you from your friend Melanie." "How exciting," said Miffy. Her friend Melanie was on holiday with her parents. The postcard had a pretty postage stamp on it. "Look, Mother, here are some little pictures that Melanie drew herself." "Melanie has drawn a sun on the postcard," said Miffy. "That means they are having lovely weather. And next to the sun, she has drawn some wavy lines like water. That means they are swimming in the ocean. Look, there is even a picture of a brightly coloured fish." "Yes," said Miffy's mother. "Melanie is a clever little bunny. Her next drawing is a smiling face. So that means they are having a happy time. And look, she has drawn a little picture of herself, so you know that it really is from Melanie." "I would like to send a postcard back to Melanie, and I will draw a picture of me on it," said Miffy. "Here is a postcard you can use," said Miffy's mother. "You can also draw some other pictures on it for Melanie. Why don't you draw a picture of our little house?" So Miffy took the postcard and her pencil outside and looked carefully at her house. "Yes," she thought, "my drawing looks just like our house." Then Miffy wanted to draw a flower on her postcard. So she went into her garden, where a lovely flower was growing. She looked at the flower very carefully, and then she drew a picture of it on the postcard. Just then, a butterfly landed on the flower, and Miffy quickly drew a picture of the butterfly. Then Miffy went back inside to finish her drawings. She drew a picture of herself and Melanie. "That will show Melanie how much I like her," Miffy thought. Miffy coloured her drawings. She gave the White House a red roof, red shutters, and a green window. She made the flower red and the leaves green. She coloured the butterfly yellow. She left the drawing of herself white and coloured the drawing of Melanie brown. They looked very pretty together. Miffy put a stamp on her postcard. Then she walked to the postbox and carefully pushed her postcard into the postbox. When she walked home, Miffy thought, "The post is a wonderful thing. We can be together with our friends, even when we are far away from each other." And indeed, Melanie was delighted with her postcard.